Taylor Swift has revealed herself to be resentful of Black women, or at least deeply insecure when it comes to comparing herself to Black women.
Taylor Swift is obsessed with Black women. Let's talk about it. Taylor Swift is obsessed with the fact that several of her exes have moved on to date Black women, and she perceives this kind of conquering of Travis as an end or disruption of this pattern, and she's boasting about it in this album.
I swear if this video doesn't get 1 million views, I will know YouTube literally doesn't like me. So who was gonna tell me that Taylor Swift is in competition with Black women? Black men, come to the front. Come to the front, darlings. Meanwhile, you were away. We had our very good old sister, Taylor to the Swift, who is dating Travis Kelce, a white man. And she's in competition with Black women. See, Black men, while you were away, Taylor Swift made a song that says, "But I'm not a Black bitch. And I am afraid that you will cheat on me with a Black bitch. Because she got a fat ass." I don't know why did I just do that. No, sisters, did y'all know you got Taylor Swift stressed out? Now let me give you the tea. Okay, let me not give you the tea. Let me show you people on the internet to give you the tea. Because I feel like if I give you the tea, it'll be so exaggerated. And you guys will actually think I have anything against Tay-Tay. I literally love her to death, love her down. Unless the fact that she compares herself to Beyonce. But let me show you.
Taylor Swift has revealed herself to be resentful of Black women, or at least deeply insecure when it comes to comparing herself to Black women. In the song Opalite, Taylor is referencing Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole. The lyrics of Opalite include, "You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night, but now the sky is opalite." So Taylor is not only using the lyrics in the song to talk about how she is so much better for Travis than his ex-girlfriend is, which is inconsiderate on its face. What did that lady ever do to you? But she is choosing to do that using the imagery of onyx, which is typically black, and opalite, which is typically white. Or in Eldest Daughter, Taylor says, "I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." The language of bad bitch and savage are primarily associated with Black women, at least in this context, especially Black women in hip-hop. Both make me think of Megan Thee Stallion immediately. And there were rumors that Travis was trying to holler at Megan back in 2023, shortly before Travis and Taylor started dating. So I read this lyric as, "Sorry, I'm not a hot, cool Black woman like he usually dates." Or in Wishlist, she says they want a fat ass and a baby face. Big booties are not unique to Black women, but if we're all being honest here about the associations of Black women's bodies over the last 400 years, big booties are and have been associated with Black women. Now, could I understand why Taylor might be insecure about this? Yeah. Knowing that thousands, if not millions of people are looking at your man's exes and then looking at you like, huh? Would make me insecure too. But to be even relatively conscious of the trope of white men dating Black women until it's time to settle down and have white babies, or the trope of men dating Black women until they get richer or more famous, or to know the way that Kayla Nicole has been dragged to hell and back because her high-profile ex, a white man, started a very public relationship with one of the biggest pop stars in the world, a white woman, and how many people hurled racist jokes at her and Black women generally for it, to know all that and still dunk on her one more time to your millions of loyal fans, for this to come up on at least 3 different songs in one album, for her to play into harmful tropes that she has to be aware of, and for so many of Taylor's fans to not notice or just not care, this album is simply not for me. There is enough thinly veiled racial resentment in the world toward Black women. I don't need it in my pop bops.
I am not crazy. I am not crazy. And Black people, y'all better tell me in the comment section I'm not crazy. I tell you, I bet you I am sane. I know what I'm talking about. So the gig is, Taylor Swift's ex only dated Black women all his entire life. She got the ring, baby. She's engaged, okay? She about to be married. But the problem is, she's in competition with all her fiance's exes because they were Black. They got a big behind and melanin, and she is afraid that it's the ancestors of Taylor Swift don't even want me to talk about her. She is afraid that how many years has been with black women, that's all he knows. And this is the first white chick. She's the first white chick that he knows. And she's stressed out. She is stressed out. She like, I got the ring, but the problem is you ain't black ones. How do you convince me? How do I get convinced that you're not gonna go back to the black melody? You know what they're saying? When you go black, you never go back. He went black. Maybe he turned white. But she concerned. Black people, you will always press somebody. Tell me you are crazy without telling me you're crazy. You want to tell me? Y'all want to tell me Tay Tay is stressed? Like, she is there thinking about all her fiance's exes being black? I need to go to bed. I feel like this is enough of internet today. Yeah, I am not delusional. It's enough internet for me today. I need to go to bed.
Taylor Swift's new album is many things. Unfortunately, good is not one of them. I knew the album wasn't going to be good as soon as the title was revealed, but the promo pics made me curious, so I have listened to the album in full. And now, having listened to it, the album's problem is glaringly obvious. The problem is Taylor Swift is aging out of being a white girl. Before you scroll, let me cook. When Taylor was a teenager, she wanted to be a pop star, so her parents decided to take the country route. Keep in mind, this is the 2000s. Pop music was highly sexual, it was sleazy, and then you had things like bling rap. It's not a place for a little white girl. Country music, on the other hand, loves a little white girl, and she's blonde, they'll eat her up. So her family moved from Pennsylvania to Tennessee to launch her country career. That's why for the first several years of her career, she faked a southern accent. She was trying to fit in, seem authentic. Once the pop landscape started to change the late 2000s and early 2010s, that's when she started to transition to making pop music. And now to talk about white girls. White girls don't have sex. They don't know what that is. White girls they're cute, they're adorable, they're like dolls, they're precious, they have to be protected. Do you remember a couple months ago whenever parents would bring their kids to Sabrina Carpenter shows and then act aghast because Sabrina Carpenter, who is a highly sexual artist, was referencing sex on stage? Of course they were, because how could a short, cute little white girl who is also blonde, a blonde, cute little white girl, how could she possibly know what sex is? It's the assumption. Women having sexual freedom and willingly engaging in sex is highly associated with blackness. You can see this most clearly when it comes to things like Disney and Nickelodeon stars. Miley Cyrus, she was Hannah Montana, all-American girl. And what does she do whenever she wanted to shed the Disney image and say, hey, I'm not just a little girl anymore? She releases Can't Be Tamed in bangers. Ariana Grande, another cute little white girl. What does she do whenever she wants to shed the childhood image? She releases Dangerous Woman in Sweetener. They would do things like hang out with rappers. They would incorporate black music styles into their own music. So that way, whenever they'd be sexual, it's like, oh, I'm not just a little white girl anymore. And over time, they would drift away from that because that wasn't who they authentically were. They were just using that as a way to escape the chains of being a white girl. Taylor Swift has never had to do that, and why would she? She makes being a white girl so fucking profitable. And the thing about Taylor Swift is that being a white girl is not just profitable for her, it's her entire brand. Because she's just, like, so awkward. And whenever she dances on stage, she's, like, bad because she's like, awkward. And she loves, like, cats and baking and, like, hanging out with her fans. And she would likely continue with this forever, except for one small problem. Taylor Swift is 35 years old. And it's not like she's showing signs of aging or anything, but the brand of being a white girl is very much being a white girl. What happens in a few years whenever she's 40? What happens whenever she starts to get wrinkles? Once you're middle-aged, it's not cute anymore to be awkward. So she's aging out of being a white girl, but she doesn't have a brand or really even a sense of self outside of being a white girl. Also, low-key, this is the entire key to her relationship with Travis Kelce, which is not going to go well, but that's a story for another day. And keep in mind, the world has been moving on. An artist like Sabrina Carpenter could not exist 10 years ago. There was nowhere in the pop landscape for her. For like a cute little white girl who's that sexual. It didn't exist. And then on top of that, things have been rapidly changing politically. So people want different things from women now. And the life of a showgirl is a testament to Taylor's inability to rise to the occasion. Like on the song Wish List. Oh, everybody wants bright lights and designer things and they want like a fat ass. But But me, then we get to the chorus, but me, I just want to have all of your kids. I want to have all of your kids, and then I want to live in a house, and I want the driveway to have a basketball hoop in it for our kids. And Taylor's personal struggle between her being her own woman and her being a cute little white girl is really embodied by the song Wood. It's called Wood because it's in reference to Travis Kelce's, that. But the song isn't sexual at all, because the song isn't about sex. It's about a woman justifying the fact that she has sex. The song starts with her picking petals off of a daisy. Oh, he loves me not. Taylor portrays herself as being super insecure until Travis Kelce digmatizes her and opens up her eyes. And keep in mind, white girls cannot be sexual beings. It's not that she has sexual feelings, it's that a man came along and unlocked it in her. The curse was lifted. You see, you guys, it's not about sex at all. It's about love. His love was the key that opened my thighs. I don't have sexual feelings. I'm just a little white girl. Because this album is supposed to be her embodying her sexual energy, thus, life of a showgirl. But Taylor either feels unable or isn't willing or whatever it is you want it to be. Taylor doesn't actually embody it. She doesn't explore it because the embodiment of her sexual energy would come at the expense of the brand of Taylor Swift. It's seemingly not compatible, or at least she thinks or her team thinks that it's not compatible. So she has to be her own fully embodied grown woman in order to keep up with the times, but she also has to be like a cute little white girl in order to keep up with the brand of Taylor Swift. And in trying to do both, she successfully does nothing. I would be really curious to know if the album was even her idea, especially since so many of the songs sound like rejected tracks off of some of her old albums. Also, how are you gonna have an album called Life of a Showgirl and yet not a single fucking song on the album has a brass section? Showgirl music is big band, it's blaring horns, it's a hell of a lot of fun, and it just did not exist on this album. Not to mention, none of the songs actually have anything to do with being a showgirl, and really not even the song The Life of a Showgirl. Like, she could have just used the word follies once, and I would have been satisfied. But discussing why the music isn't good sonically is not really the purpose of this video.
So I stopped listening to Taylor Swift years ago when I realized that she was mentally still stuck in high school. But in recent years, I did not revisit her music because she likes to date racists. And now she herself is aligning with a white supremacist pipeline and using her music as a tool to continue to perpetuate really nasty and disgusting stereotypes about Black women. Because she's insecure, and therefore the rest of us have to deal with the consequences of the fact that she is dating a man who probably wouldn't date her under any normal circumstances, other than the fact that she happens to be super popular and she is a very wealthy woman. And now people are finally realized, now that her mask is off, that she is exactly who we all have been saying she was from the very beginning. And she's been hiding in plain sight for a very long time, pretending to be a feminist, to give a damn about very real issues impacting people who look like her and people who don't look like her. And she's been able to present this image of just being so helpless and being held down, boggled down by the industry, by her team members, by society for not allowing her to speak up and speak out. And instead of other white women holding her accountable, they continue to prop her up, refusing to have any sort of genuine discussion about how toxic and dangerous she is to the lives of all of us, but especially to the women who listen to her music. And now we're going to see the repercussions of that.
Hey, so if a Black woman or a person of color is telling you that something is racist, something is microaggressive, something is not sitting with them the right way, that is not the time for you as a white person to open your mouth and say, actually, no. Yes, I'm talking about Taylor Swift. I'm talking about the critiques surrounding Taylor Swift. I know we're tired. I know it's been talked about ad nauseum, but I do think this is really important and it's something that we should continue to talk about. So one side of the criticisms about this album are related to stylistic choice, vocals, musical composition, right? People can have their opinions on that. What I want to talk about is the critiques of the lyrics, and specifically the way people are critiquing the racist and microaggressive undertones that are within the lyrics. And a large majority of the people calling that out and noticing that are Black women and people of color. And I am seeing white women like myself commenting back on a lot of those critiques saying, but she didn't mean it in this way. And you're reaching and you're looking too far into it. And It's not racist. Like, how could she be racist when in her music video she surrounded herself with people of color, and she endorsed Kamala Harris for all of these people are making excuses like this for a person that they don't even know. It's so wild to me. When a Black person or a person of color says that something is racist, that is not when we go, hey, actually, no. We have to sit with that and reflect and go, why didn't I think of it that way? How can I do better in the future? How can I call this out? How can I, et cetera, et cetera. There is work that has to be done. If your first instinct, when a Black person or a person of color says something is racist, if your first instinct is to say actually or but, there is work that needs to be done. It's so disheartening to me to see people defend this album and defend a billionaire with their whole fucking life when there are so many other people that energy could go towards, particularly people of color. Like, people of color are being unalived. They are being abducted in the streets. They are abroad and domestically are experiencing violence on insane levels. And so many people have not had the energy or the intensity in speaking about those things. But when it comes to Taylor Swift, they are fighting for their lives in the comment section. We should be fighting for our lives in the comment section when it comes to trans people, violence against Black people, immigrant rights, Palestine. These are things we should be fighting for our lives for in the comment section. These are things we should be going out and protesting, rather than like going and defending a white billionaire who you've never met. Anyway, this is the last show I'm going to say on Taylor Swift because she doesn't deserve my time, energy, the space on my phone anymore, because it just makes me so fucking grossed out the way people are invalidating Black women when they say something is racist. It's so like, white women, we need to have a chat like us and stop relying on Black women to do all of this work and hold all of this burden for us to then go back and invalidate them. We have work to do.
Taylor Swift has the fame and popularity that she has today mainly for two reasons. Number one, she's a mediocre white woman. And she reminds other mediocre white women in J.Lo that not only is mediocre okay, but it can get you very far. And I know what you're going to say, oh my God, but she's an amazing songwriter. Think about it, I'm going to hold your hand with a napkin in between when I say this. She's been writing about the same thing for 20 years. If I were writing about the same thing for 20 years, I should be pretty good at it too. And not only has she been writing the same album, different font for 20 years, but nothing about her has improved. Her dancing is still the same as it was 20 years ago. Again, she's writing about the same thing. She literally has not improved in any way in her career. And why is that? Because she's a mediocre white woman, and y'all will praise her for being a mediocre white woman. She knows she doesn't have to do anything more. Whatever she does, whatever she puts out, y'all are going to buy it. Number two, and I know y'all are not ready for this one, but ready or not, here I come. Y'all still see her as a little girl who was bullied by the big scary Black man on the VMA stage in 2009. Now, friendly reminder, multiple things can be true at once. Kanye was dead the fuck wrong for doing that in that moment, and at the very same time, y'all have been infantilizing and coddling this woman since it happened. That's also why y'all feel the need to constantly compare Taylor Swift to Beyonce, because in that moment, Kanye was praising Beyonce over Taylor Swift, and so since that moment, y'all have felt the need to protect Taylor Swift and defend her virtue and prove why she deserved that award and other praises over Beyonce, and have never let Beyonce know a day of peace, even though number one, Beyonce was mortified in that moment and did not want Kanye to do that. And number two, when Beyonce was on the stage, she brought Taylor back on the stage to give her moment. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and if you disagree with me, I could not give a fuck less. Hope this helps. Peace and
This is the face of someone that has been vindicated. This is the face of someone that is always on the right side of history. Because I have been very loud and proud, okay? Proud about my hate for that mediocre white woman. I make sure that I take every opportunity to whack her across her white cranium. My oh my, though, how the tables have turned. Because yes, let's get her the fuck up out of here. First of all, I'm just going to be completely honest. I only hate her as much as I do because y'all love to compare her to She Who Shall Not Be Named. When She Who Shall Not Be Named at 35 created Lemonade, and this lady at 35 created a fucking Kidz Bop album. At 35. The bitch still singing like she wear a fucking chastity belt and she's waiting till marriage to have sex. At 35. Like, you know you're done for when the white women are calling you out. When white women start calling out other white women, bitch, it's a rap. And all it took was for them to get a piece of shit ass album, as if the rest of them ain't pieces of shit. And like, let's keep it a bug. Them bitches are not mad because she is MAGA. They're not really mad that this album is a dog whistle. They're mad because the album is trash. Like, they really thought they was going to have something to bop to while they go get their fucking pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. Not
this man ever loved Kayla Nicole, because if he did, I think he would have asked Taylor, please take those lyrics out. I'm not a bad bitch. I'm not a savage. I just wear glasses. The glasses part I put in there. But it's crazy to me that not only does that not necessarily singularly apply to Kayla Nicole, it's partially due to some of the racial undertones. I think it could apply to a couple of her exes' new wives, right? So this is Zalwe Ashton, who's married to Tom Hiddleston. This is Vicky Hope, who's married to Calvin Harris. And they're not married, but allegedly Harry Styles is still trying to win back Taylor Russell. So it doesn't singularly have to be about Kayla. However, the kind of like bad bitch energy, which oftentimes you think of like bad bitches in reference to pop culture being like rappers, or particularly black women, or female rappers, particularly black women, or the concept of savage used more colloquially would be like Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, Rihanna. So it's giving she's a cheerleader and I'm on the bleachers, which, how old is that song? How old were you when you wrote it? How old are you now? Like 35? You're 35 and we're still on the bleachers? You really did never leave that spot. Which, mind you, she won. She fucking won, right? Like, Kayla really doesn't talk about her. She got the boy in the end. Like, they're engaged. Great rock. Shout out to her. In the caption, which I thought was a little, I don't know, I felt it was a little flat, but like, your favorite English teacher and your football coach are getting married. You are living out your dreams. Why would you judge this back up? Why would you go after? And someone can say, well, like, no, that's not. She's talking about the cultural temperature. No, I don't think so. I think she's still hung up that he dated somebody else before her, it seems like, who is specifically the antithesis of her. And that's what makes her the most upset. Maybe this idea, some of her previous boyfriends meet someone who might be also the antithesis of her in some type of way. They fall in love and they get married. Now it's her time to get married, but somehow she is not over it. Somehow she is not over Kayla. And I think that's really sad. I think it's sad on a lot of different fronts that she's Taylor's dragging this horrible drama into Kayla's life, and it's completely unfair. And I think, again, if Travis ever cared, he would be like, please let her be. Because having experienced some of Taylor's racist fans, yeah. And like, this is going to last for the next 3 months probably too. I would have said, you know, if I was Travis, I would be like, please leave her out of this. You know what your fans are capable of.
Imagine me with a white man, and then I go and say, I am so stressed. Like, all your life you've been with white women. I'm like, why would you choose me? Hello, girl, Tay. Do you love yourself? Like, this man has chosen you to give you the ring, but like, you're not sure if he loves you or not. Are you that intimidated of black women? Black men, your sisters are causing commotion in people's relationships, so you're not even aware of it. Oh, darlings.